The universe has been seeded with all kinds of life forms of every type imaginable and unimaginable, seeded by divine parents who continue to create new worlds like gardens of life. It's their will that each inhabited world be allowed to grow and mature without being destroyed in their entirety, so that they may advance and progress and become school-type planets for sending different types of human races to, and other creatures to have life experiences in physical forms. It is their hope that these life forms will learn to get along and have love for one another so that they can advance and progress in all areas of life. In the sciences, medicine, education, inventions, and eventually reach for the stars, where they can hope that they will eventually have good relations and advance even more when they have encounters with other worlds they've seeded with life and who have also advanced. In allowing the worlds they've seeded to be free, it's the divine parents' hope and will that their creations will eventually learn not to use their knowledge, inventions, sciences, and other advancements for evil, for selfish reasons, for greed, and other unholy purposes, by enslaving, killing, or taking advantage of each other. The divine parents hope that the people will not do such things, but that they will see the benefits that are attached to the advancements that they have made. That they will see that the benefits are better than the sum of consequences and harms that are caused when such things are abused. For with each advancement comes not only great benefits, but also greater dangers, if those advancements are misused for evil. Thus, the divine parents have established a universal law of love in the hopes that all intelligent life forms will learn to love and have respect for one another, despite their differences. If not, then all life forms on worlds that abuse the advancements that they make for evil purposes, such worlds will be stopped in their progress, not be allowed to be given more of the hidden secrets of advancements, especially if they start to make their world to become an endangered species in the universe. And so they will remain for periods of time called Dark Ages until they mature out of misusing their advancements for evil purposes. Such worlds often then retrogress rather than progress, especially if they kill the prophets and prophetesses that are sent to them to try to get the inhabitants to change and follow the universal law of love and respect. Or if they refuse to also follow the angels of light, but rather start to follow the fallen angels and lords of darkness down the paths towards demonification. Thus, when inhabited worlds advance to the point where they discover the hidden secrets of global killer weapons, the Dark Lords, with their demons and the global killers around the universe, take interest. They often seek to buy, steal, or infiltrate those worlds to take such fearful weapons in order to add to their arsenals if they can. If these inhabited worlds are corrupt or have corrupt leaders, these weapons often will end up in the hands of alien global killers, who then will misuse them to hold entire inhabited worlds for ransom, thus enslaving or draining such worlds of their riches, technologies, resources, and other things the global killers think would be of value, or that they could find more ways to abuse them for evil purposes rather than for their intended benefits of uplifting the inhabited world. So they usually use these things by causing it to be destroyed if they can, rather than for the intended benefits that they have. Consequently, when global killer weapons thus fall into the hands of those who would abuse them, all inhabited worlds' chances of becoming an endangered species in the universe increases. But the divine parents aren't going to let the worlds they have seeded to be destroyed. For the universe is not without those who seek to encounter these universal criminals and global killers. There is another universal law from the divine parents in the universe, that for all eternity past and all eternity to come, all worlds they seeded, or that they should seed with life, shall be allowed to continue in advancing or retrogressing according to the sum of all the choices made freely by those who live there or who make it there from other inhabited worlds. That no world should thus be destroyed in its entirety by those who seek to use global killer weapons, who help keep the universe safer from such global killer weapons, and those who'd use them or abuse them. The divine parents use their powers to protect their seeded worlds, but also they send out armies of guardian angels. The guardian angels also seek out and recruit those from the different inhabited worlds to take part in helping to protect and save entire worlds from becoming endangered species. On a massive planet whose location is kept secret, the guardian angels send their recruits and selections to learn, train, and advance on a highly fortified world called Universal Mission Command. There, the different recruits join others in becoming cosmic agents. Cosmic agents are highly trained, gifted, and highly equipped graduates whose main missions are to help protect inhabited worlds that they are assigned to. Their missions take them through time and into places that they've been trained before, where they've learned the languages, customs, inventions, environments, dangers, laws, religions, and observances of the places and people that they secretly are sent amongst. Without training, they'd get themselves into all kinds of troubles, breaking laws they didn't know about, or eating things to kill or harm them, or by doing things that would cause negative ripple effects down that world's natural timeline that would alter the course of its natural history. Cosmic agents, except for their guides, aren't from those worlds, times, places, unless they have to be careful that they don't leave their inventions behind, or that they contaminate the natural flow of things, if possible. They are there to get in and out before their presence is detected, to get the global killers in possession of global killer weapons, and thus help save each world from doomsdays, from a total destruction, or from being held hostage or for ransom. Because cosmic agents often counter the plans of the evil ones, they often have bounties out on them that attract intergalactic bounty hunters and others seeking to cash in on the bounty. So cosmic agents are always on their guard against being taken, killed, or held for ransom themselves. Though cosmic agents are equipped with all kinds of inventions, devices, gadgets, and tools of their trade, or selected because they have special abilities, skills, and gifts. Such things often do not make them invincible, though they may at first appear to be. Thus, this series, Cosmic Agents, are the ongoing adventures, stories, experiences of the top secret mission footage of these different recruits who became cosmic agents, starting with one of Earth's recruits from the 23rd century, Max Pointer.
Captain, I just got a high energy warning. It's coming from Zephner 6, sir. Look, Zephner 6 is being engulfed in a wall of fire that's spreading all over the planet.
All those people! My daddy! My daddy!
Developing their size to the point where they begin to discover the hidden secrets of global government. Cosmic agents are sent in to attempt to save these other planets from becoming an endangered species in the universe.
Ever since we could remember, we've been around cosmic agents consisting of different races from different inhabited worlds. Our parents were cosmic agents, as were theirs, on back 6 generations. The global killers out in the universe have had to deal with the pointers for a long time, and have sought to take out our family lines by going back in time to kill off our parents, or their parents on back. To preserve the family line, we've also had to travel back in time, like to Zephner 6, when our mother's world became an endangered species in the universe. So Kirk and I, Max Pointer, got called to report to a secret mission brief at Universal Mission Command.
How's his doctor? He's complaining about suffering from nightmares.
Post-traumatic mission stress disorder syndrome?
Not the proper medical terms, but yes, he has to keep a monitor on him while he's sleeping. Scans show strange creatures he keeps running from, which seem to be a combination of a number of creatures in the real world, combined into slug-type conglomerations.
Let's see. Oh yes, he's had real encounters with real ones on different missions that he's been on, but it seems like they're all gained upon him on one planet, which is possible because the global killers often will import alien trackers to the places they find out that the cosmic agents are going to.
I've never seen this type of case like this one before.
Is he faking?
I don't get readouts that he is.
Then do something for him. We need him on this next mission, and he's not going to use a medical excuse from you to get out of this mission. Max Boyer, Max Boyer, wake up, Max. Wake up, Max. Report to Universal Mission Command. Meaning, Max, wake up, 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 Max, wake up.
What the heck? Looks like that wasn't a dream after all. Looks like they recorded my mission footage. Made it into an ad. English. Just an ordinary looking rock, right? Simple looking rock, you know, it's just you'd be walking by and think nothing of it. Well, this is actually have a lot of explosive elements to it. You throw this thing, boom. You set it off to the side, it's facing a certain direction. It's like the old Claymore mines, it would blow in a certain direction.
And I didn't even get any royalties.
Sends a pulsar beam where if that beam is interrupted, it'll set off a reaction of a lot of different weaponry you can have set up.
So is that a lot like the plastic explosives the military used to use in the 21st century?
They call it C4. It's very similar. To us, this is even more dangerous.
Every cosmic agent, especially Max Pointer, cosmic agent team leader, legend in his own mind. Believe him when he says that when you and your team are out there in the bush, your best friend will be the T-748 multi-pulsar blaster combo, or Bush Buster Blaster, equipped with scorchers, greasers, morphers, and multi-directional smart lasers that bend and turn around corners to get your targets. Cover all your angles at once. Equipped with spirit mold, invisibilities, morphing into innocent-looking branches, so as to disguise itself from being found by locals. Comes with camouflage, spikes, and other hand-to-hand weaponry. But comes with shrink mode to fit into your hand, or disappear to be a rock. With this new model, the T-748 multi-pulsar blaster combo, you will be protected, and so will your teammates, as you complete your missions on hostile worlds with all kinds of vicious creatures after you and your team. Don't leave Universal Mission Command without it. You're going to need it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have the T-748 multi-pulsar blaster combo. The Bush Buster Blaster. Welcome everyone, Max, Kirk, and others of the Pointer team. This is a top secret meeting, not to be discussed to no one else outside this room and team. Some new global killer weapons have been used on inhabited worlds. The names we've given them are the Imploded Exploder. It implodes the planet before it explodes it. The Storm Striker. It's a ray that starts up a huge storm that moves all over the globe and causes snowstorms, floods, and rain and hurricane winds. Discovered accidentally and tried out by some less advanced scientist is the Wind Rod. It starts up a hurricane that moves all over a planet. Then there's the Tidal Wave Maker that magnifies normal waves to become huge tidal waves. If used with a multiplier, it can make large enough waves to cover land masses, provided that the world has large bodies of oceans like Earth does. The first one we are going back in time to undo is the Firestormer that burned Zephner 6 in 2260, 6 years ago. It's scheduled for a time loop mission, and it's part of why the Pointer Brothers and their team here, you all here, have been called for this mission. Here's some secret mission orbs that I want you to watch, and we expect that all of you will time loop to train for this important mission. Any questions?
Why did it take so long to get around to reversing the global killer weapon that went off on Zephner 6?
It's like many worlds. They have to be scheduled for missions, research compiled, and evidence gathered as to who did it and how to go after them, and it's all in the mission orb to study.
Do we know the details of what type of weapons a Firestormer is and how to disarm it?
Yes, again, study the orb, study what's on it, and keep it secret. There are fuzzy ball-type creatures that the global killers are using. They use their gas that has been collected and compressed and used to make this weapon.
To get into the Global Killer's weapons manufacturing center, where the Firestormer was made, we had to beam down to the size of microbes and ride along on the skin of one of the Global Killers as he made his way past all the security checkpoints. However, while shrunken down, we'd have to be careful that we'd not become the microscopic critter's dinner and thus fell in our mission. It was a good thing we had our updated new gadgets and weapons with us as we made our way through the microscopic jungles on the skin of the Gorkin gangster Global Killer. We only hoped that he wouldn't feel the blast from our shrunken down weapons and would have the urge to scratch the area we kept running away into. So our aims had to be on target, lest we miss and hit his skin, and in feeling a small microscopic sharp little stab-like pain, he would reach over and would scratch that area, which at our size could be devastating. Unlike humans who can only reach so far to scratch their backs, Gorkins have a way of reaching whatever area that they might need to scratch. So we hoped that the battle would soon be over, and when inside their weapons center, we could unshrink and surprise them all before they could fire upon us. There was also the threat from him going into a decontamination booth, too. At our size, we might not be able to survive like the microbes, and unless we could find a way to go deeper into his skin, then we might also be destroyed by the decontamination booth's decontamination. But once inside his body, we could be attacked by his body's defenses, his antibodies, as we made our way around his bloodstream and tried to hide in one of his cells or wherever we could. This wasn't going to be an easy mission, and it seemed impossible.
Even in spirit mode is shut down, the micro-jungles seem to be like the regular jungles.
Yeah, but there's a lot of differences too. Keep an eye out.
Yes, sir.
We should be inside the center where the Global Killer is, and the Global Killer weapon is being made by the Global Killers. We'll need to be ready for a battle once we're unshrunk to our normal sizes.
Why don't we enlarge bigger than our actual sizes to become more intimidating?
That would only make a bigger target to hit. We're not on a arm wrestling mission.
Yes, sir.
Everyone keep an eye out for microscopic creatures. We should also set up a zapper that will zap them if they start to get too close. Set it down on the Gorgon skin so that it will fire at the ground or higher levels rather than down at the skin. We don't want him scratching if we can help it.
What does your scanner say? where we are and if we're even inside the center yet.
It says we're close, but not yet. He's going through the security checkpoints, and that can take some time. We need to get some rest, take turns, and keep an eye out for micro creatures. Once we unshrink, we'll need all the strength we can to get the global killer weapon and get out of here by fighting our way out to a place that the transport signal can get through their anti-transport shields. Check your equipment, make sure that even in these shrunken levels, they still work.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Brock, take a wider patrol around us to keep an eye out on things and let us know if something larger than us is coming.
Yes, sir.
You all should have your weapon set to vaporize mode and setting. Don't want his hair to catch on fire. Even a microfire might cause him to want to scratch, and we don't want that. Don't want the smell of burning hair also to become a hint that we're here too. We should set up camp here, set up the zapper, and wait for when we're inside and he's in a private room or area before unshrinking. Our scanners should indicate if he's in his office or the bathroom, or at least that no one is near him. Set that zapper in silent mode too. Don't want the micro sounds being heard, if they even will be, but don't want to even take the chance. As I watch the bugs, these microbugs, what if we thought communicate with them, our allies? But I doubt it. You had to learn to communicate with animals during the 21st century. They liked and had needs we would fulfill, such as I provided bread for some birds. I had told the birds if they would keep an eye out for us, that I would give them rather than float up to there, catching nests, I climbed up a tree. That must have been something to see too. The locals must have thought I was about it now and then, but sometimes happens. We're on different time frames, different worlds, and different settings.
Headslot alert. Headslot alert. Jet surrounded, vaporize it.
We need to find out a way to get into his skin, hide into his bloodstream if we have to. Might have a better chance staying in an opening, watching out for antibodies, and posing no threat to them than we are now fighting these micro hair slugs.
Suda, we're ready to go to an opening that we can create or find.
A vaccination syringe.
There's a cave. Make sure there's nothing hiding in the cave and nothing following us if we can.
Slow, get ready. This might be a place to get in and hide.
Don't move around too much. Once inside, we don't want to attract white antibodies and white defensive cells. Cosmic Agent Bear Fighter Bronkin was a tough, well-trained cosmic agent, but the look in his eye told me he had doubts we were going to get out of this mission alive. But perhaps it was the digestive fluids from the white antibodies that had swallowed him that caused him so much pain and bad side effects. Luckily, we had antidotes with us. At our micro-reduced size, it even went right through his force field. Quick thinking and acting Brock used our useful provider to make us a combination micro-submarine starship to get us inside, away from the antibodies that were coming at us from all angles, as we tried to hide in the global killer's bloodstream, away from the micro-skin creatures outside. Bear Brocken apparently had torn the side of the vein wall as he tried to hold on to keep him from floating around as the bloodstream flow got faster and stronger. It was a good thing we were able to get transported into the ship the provider provided, because we would have all been separated in the bloodstream and would have been each on his own skills and devices to survive and keep away from the antibodies coming at us like an army. The white, large one seemed to be the most vicious of all, as we sped off to find a hiding place inside the global killer's body. Having made our way, going by spirit mode and submarine mode, we found places to hide, which were soon discovered by the antibodies that somehow communicated with each other our new locations. What the global killer was doing and where he was at those moments, we hardly had time to monitor before going back to focus on blasting at the antibodies gathering around us. We wondered if the global killer could feel and was wondering what was going on inside his body. Being shrunk down to microscopic sizes, we hoped that he wouldn't feel the blast of the micro wars taking place in different parts of his body. Though we were trained for such things, going through the real thing was totally different from any type of war we had ever fought before. But we had a mission to do, even if it seemed impossible.
Mission update on Cosmic Agents Pointer Team.
They've had a lot of close calls with Michael's hair slugs, battled them until they escaped in an opening in the Global Killer's flesh. Now they've been submarining their way through the Global Killer's veins, hiding and battling antibodies, then moving to other areas to get away from them in new hiding places until they are found again.
Where's the Global Killer?
He's in his office, counting his payment for the Global Killer firestormer that will be used against Zephner 6.
Does Max and his team know this?
Not sure. We've been in communication silent mode in case it can't get through the Global Killer's shield and gets monitored, thus letting the Global Killer's security forces know from that monitoring that a team of cosmic agents are there.
What about a coded secret message sent to Cloak to sound like their own monitor's static or communications?
What message would be so important that you'd risk detection?
Order them to stay in their submarine combination starship since their provider made one for them out of the need to get away from the antibodies. They might as well use it to unshrink, eliminate the Global Killer, beam the Global Killer weapon, the Firestormer, into their ship, fight off security, then blast their way out of there rather than be on foot. This should surprise the Global Killers and their security teams, who will not be expecting a team of cosmic agents already inside the center's security checkpoints. Meanwhile, we'll have teams of cosmic agents appearing to be trying to get in from the outside as a distraction of what's going on inside. Tell them to see if they can download all the computer files and contacts information before destroying the center from the inside. This is the change in plan from what was originally planned, but it's got to happen that way. That's an order.
Yes, sir. We'll encrypt a coded secret message to sound like the monitoring static of their own security monitors. We can do that per your orders.
Universal Mission Command's commander of our particular mission sent us new orders that we received and decoded. Having blasted away the hair slugs and walls of the Gorkin Global Killer's veins, he started to scratch in that area. So as we increased in size, we blasted our way out of his skin and through his clothing. Found the Global Killer weapon in the dark, loaded it, shrunk it down to fit into our submarine starship combo. Picked up the teams of cosmic agents who were attracting and distracting the Global Killer's security forces as they were attacking from different angles of the Global Killer's weapon manufacturing center. And on our way into space, we blew it up as we blasted off towards Universal Mission Command. Passing Universal Mission Command's security checkpoints, we delivered the global killer weapon that had been intended by the global killer weapons manufacturers, global killers, to destroy Zephner 6. Having cleansed that timeline, having changed that aspect of the timeline, the ripple effects of billions of lives thus saved, billions of life forms thus not destroyed, started to fill the data banks at Universal Mission Command's compute centers. Our mother's past was restored. Kirk and I were born, and the rest of the natural history intended by our divine parents was restored in the case with Zephner 6. But there was more to this mission than we believed. It wasn't over with yet, to our surprise. This is Max Pointer, Cosmic Agent. Security clearance and code to enter Universal Mission Command's airspace is Zephner 6, Zebra, Alpha, Tango, Victor, Julia, 897.
Security code accepted, but the problem is that your team just left after dropping off a gold killer weapon, rather than report for briefing as usual. You said that you would all return soon, but we didn't think that you'd be back so soon. So we're holding you here for verification purposes.
My team haven't arrived yet. Beam that global killer weapon out of there. I think it's intended to destroy Universal Mission Command. Hurry! The others must have been clones or imposters. Do it now! We've all been targeted. Forced to move our submarine to Starship Combo to a safe distance, we all watched in horror as Universal Mission Command's planet lit up and was destroyed by a global killer weapon. Despite all the security checkpoints in place, some global killers, guys like us, had infiltrated Universal Mission Command and set off a global killer weapon. It must have also set off another called a Sun Maker. Sunmaker, like many other inventions before it and after, was intended by its inventor to do good, to take a dead, uninhabited planet and turn it into a sun so that a solar system could have light and newly seeded worlds near it could be nourished and have seasons on them, so it could eventually become a world where life forms and different humans and alien races could live on and inhabit. That was the original intent. But like many other inventions throughout the universe, it was militarized into a weapon, a global killer. Now, one was turning Universal Mission Command into a sun, which destroyed billions of life forms on Universal Mission Command's base planet. All those people, training centers, wealth of knowledge, and cosmic agents in training, or planning good missions to help save entire inhabited worlds, were all gone. The scattered teams of cosmic agents on missions throughout the universe were the only ones that were left, like us. It would now be open season on us all, as whoever did this would send the word out to the different worlds that the great Universal Mission Command had been destroyed. The intergalactic bounty hunters and the global killers would now openly start hunting the rest of us down. They'd also start to sap entire worlds of their resources, riches, knowledge, weapons, and other things they thought were valuable, holding them for ransom, threatening entire worlds that if they did pay up, a global killer weapon would destroy their world. With cosmic agents out of the way, they figured they could do this without fear of being caught or challenged. With cosmic agents now on the run or going into hiding, these global killers and bounty hunters figured that there was no one who could stop them now. But we had a choice: go into hiding or fight back with what we had, though it seemed hopeless now with Universal Mission Command being destroyed and all its resources and our fellow cosmic agents gone. We all now were in uncharted territory, an uncharted timeline territory. Without Universal Mission Command's negative ripple effect repair teams and choice indicator, all of our choices from here on out were like uncharted territories along the timeline. We couldn't know or foresee ahead of time what each of our choices would cause and end up as we could before, when the sum of all of our choices were all calculated ahead of time to map out how missions choices should go along the way. Had the orders to change the original plans as given by the commanders, now dead, changed so much along the timelines that those choices summed up to be the destruction of Universal Mission Command. There was no way at this point to know for sure, for that sum of all of our choices, as we call it, that intel would have been calculated and stored on the computers at Universal Mission Command. So it was now lost too. Though we had a provider, it couldn't produce or restore lost data. It could only provide or make inventions we requested or needed, not what anyone greeted. A provider was built on what you need, not according to people's greeds. We all discussed how that we felt the beginning of a new dark age was upon us, with Universal Mission Command destroyed. Everyone also felt that we should each vote on what we should do next. Track down the global killers and bring them to justice? Time loop back in time to try to figure out if re-choicing our mission's choices would bring back Universal Mission Command, even if it costed us and the universe Zephner 6, or if we should all go home to our individual home planets and try to live out the rest of our lives in hiding, protecting our families as best as we could with what was given to us by the provider, or with what resources we had, or the resources and things that we could each individually come up with or invent ourselves or create. If we did this, we would or could risk losing the trail that was still lingering, which our ship had picked up from the imposters or clones ship. After talking it over, we all voted that the logical choice was to follow the imposters' ship's trail while we still could. And as we did, as we followed their trail that we picked up of their starship, they seemed to always be one step ahead of us, holding entire worlds for ransom, destroying the worlds after world that were inhabited. We sent out a secret message to all surviving cosmic agents who had been on missions to meet up with us, knowing that perhaps the clones of us or imposters might try to be at the council or secret meeting to find out what we were planning, might even try to destroy us or capture us, because there was bounties out on us. But it was a risk we were willing to take, bait to lure them in. Besides, we needed backup, help in hunting down those global killers who destroyed Universal Mission Command. The intergalactic bounty hunters could have blown us all into atoms, but they didn't like to unless it was totally unavoidable. Reason being, those who paid the large bounties to them often wanted proof. Either a live cosmic agent or a dead body that could be tested and identified and verified as being the original, not a clone or a counterfeit. My fellow cosmic agents, as you already know, Universal Mission Command has been destroyed. We've been tracking down those responsible, but we need your help. This council was called for that purpose. There are also bounty hunters and global killers hunting us all down to exterminate any leftover remains of cosmic agents. which is why we all need to band together, unite our resources, gifts, skills, and knowledge to fight back and to maintain freedom throughout the universe. We call upon all good angels and life forms to join us in this battle and this mission to bring those global killers to justice, to stop them in their murderous plans to continue to hold entire inhabited worlds for ransom, or to enslave them and sap their riches, resources, and pervert those worlds' inventions and technologies for evil purposes, only to then destroy those worlds after they have taken all they can of value to them from such worlds. Who is with us? As we suspected, the global killers and an army of intergalactic bounty hunters raided the council to try to capture and kill the remaining cosmic agents, or at least those who answered the call. They took the bait. Ready for them, a fierce battle opened up as teams of cosmic agents fought back. So it was laser wars and hand-to-hand combat to try to capture as many of us as they could. The secret cabin we met in was filled with holographic images of us that seemed real, but which were set up to lure them in. But they figured out the trap and blew up that area.
I'm so scared.
Some of us had to go into hiding in the forests and caves and had to use basic survival skills to stay warm. They took a multiplier with them and comically had to make blankets to stay warm. The multiplier multiplied their lint from their belly buttons into large amounts that they then made into blankets to get under and keep warm, rather than risk making a fire and having the smoke visible so that they would be seen and would give away their position. But that's what sometimes happens when cosmic agents are on the run, being hunted down rather than being the hunters. When the remaining cosmic agents gathered, they brought their families with them. They didn't want them left alone, unguarded, or not protected, or taken and used as leverage by the global killers and intergalactic bounty. Thus, the caves the cosmic agents and their families gathered into to hide became battlegrounds as the global killers and intergalactic bounty hunters sent in alien trackers, drones, creatures not of that world to try to get at them. Even aliens, guised as different cosmic agents, tried, and some were able to somehow get past our force fields to morph back into what they are, in order to scare and get at our families. They had somehow crippled our transportation devices, so we all were on foot and had to resort to primitive combat tactics as we heard and saw the laser wars going on outside the cave's entrances. The sky was filled with all kinds of lasers and weaponry going on, but we couldn't tell which ones were from our fellow cosmic agents or from those hunting us down, because communications were being jammed too. We all were on our own. When I tried to sleep, more post-mission dramatic stress disorder syndrome haunted my nightmares as my children appeared in my dreams. My children appeared in my dreams to only morph into strange creatures that changed into creepy-looking flying things and other things. Creatures I'd never seen before. They chased me through the snowy forest and caves and space, certain that they weren't my children, but aliens, guised at first as them. I cried as I blasted them. The alien clones started to swarm us with numbers, trying to confuse and get in with lookalikes.
It's me. It's me. Hey, right? I'm not a clone. The 46th president of the United States. I don't
They
know.
all claimed to be me, Max Pointer.
It's me. It's not clone. I'm not clone. It's man.
So I had to act fast and think of questions that only the real Max would know the answer to.
It's me. What's the 47th president? Let me think here.
Like, who was the first president of the University of Glen Palm, Schnatten? And not being able to answer, we knew that they weren't me, the real Max. But we're trying to get in past our force fields to get inside the caves as walking bombs or zappers to try to get at us, to stun us, so that they could have live but unconscious cosmic agents and their families. They could cash in on the bounties. So many started to come that it was only an amount of time before the real one, the real me, Antoine, came along and knew the answers to the questions. I always like to use the war tactics of my rivals against them, or take advantage of situations, getting past them by blending in as one of them. When the aliens guised as Max, or myself, and the Max lookalike clones didn't work, and them trying to get in the caves where we had set up force fields and other protective measures, they tried another strategy, using a memory remaker. They set up scanners that tapped into my memories to recreate and try to change my memories of my family and earlier kids' childhood, distorting them in order to make them look like they were strange creatures. This was to try to get me to doubt those memories and rethink if my own children were not real humans, but were some other creatures that infiltrated the family. This was to try to get me to doubt those memories and rethink if my own children were not real humans, but were some other creatures that infiltrated the family. I wasn't the only cosmic agent targeted, for there were other family members and agents and their family members that were also targeted too. The goal was to try to get us all to start fighting each other as if we were all strange creatures instead of the real ones. Try to get us to fire upon each other. If they couldn't get at us, they were trying to have us get at each other with mistrust and inner fighting. Many pleasant memories were distorted into nightmare-type imageries.
No, don't touch it. Danger, spiky thing. No, don't touch it. Spiky thing. I don't know what it is. Don't touch it. Danger, spiky thing. Don't touch it. Don't put your mouth to it. No.
Don't touch it. Danger, spiky thing. No, don't touch it. Spiky thing. I don't know what it is. Don't touch it.
Say it again.
Ball.
Ball.
Dad, a ball. Go ball.
Where's your ears?
C-E-A-B can. If you win a minute on the big then duck.
Splinter is coming around. He's conscious now.
Leave us. Thanks, Doc.
What happened? Is this a real memory? A dream? Or am I hallucinating? What's going on? Why am I back at Universal Mission Command? It was destroyed. We saw it.
Max, you and your team were zapped by an automatic hidden alternate reality divider. The Global Killers had set it up on the Global Killer weapon.
But a global killer Sunmaker turned Universal Mission Command into a sun.
Yes, in that alternate reality, the reality divider launched you all into it, and it did in that reality. But when you all didn't show up for your mission briefing, we tracked you all down and reversed the time by time looping you all back in time to the moments before you all were trapped in the alternate reality by the reality divider.
So, we're back in time again in the natural timeline we're supposed to be in?
Welcome home and good job.
Zephner 6 was saved from the Firestormer global killer weapons?
Yes, your team helped save billions of lives and other life forms, restore the natural course of time and the timeline for Zephner 6, for where your mother was born. We've been calculating the ripple effects which have resulted from this, your team's actions. Congratulations.
What about that other reality? It seems so real.
It was real to all that lived through it, but like time looping, the memories are there, but the reality has been restored. You've been brought back to the one that should be, the one that has Universal Mission Command and all your family and friends intact and alive.
I'm so glad, for the other was horrible, and our enemies were using our memories against us with a memory remaker. Even some of the other surviving Scatter Team members of Cosmic Agents and their families, after we'd gathered to team up and go against those who had destroyed Universal Mission Command, also had their memories remade by the memory remaker.
Yes, we know, and we destroyed the ship that had the clones and imposters of you and your team, just as they were trying to get into Universal Mission Command's security airspace.
Who were they?
That's what we all need to cover in the mission brief once you and your team have fully recovered. So get some rest. We'll see you in the briefing room at 0800 hours tomorrow.
Yes, sir, and thank you, sir, for getting us back.
Thank you and your team for Zephner 6 and for being the highly skilled and gifted cosmic agents that you all are. I'll see you soon.
Thanks again, sir. So, after I got some rest, I woke up early and started towards the mission briefing room, located not too far from where I lived when I was on duty at Universal Mission Command. It was good to see Universal Mission Command was still intact. As I walked, I thought about the mission. What was I going to tell them? I went over it in my mind. This was a crazy one that left me with a lot of new nightmares on top of other missions experiences that haunted my sleep. Then on the wall, another goofy, crazy pop-up ad already about the blankets we made to keep us warm. Blankets made from the lint from our belly buttons. And I had to admit, this ad was humorous, like the other one.
The now truly legendary teams of cosmic agents that helped save Zephner 6 were thrown into a reality divider. If that should ever happen to you and your cosmic agent team, you'll be glad, as they were to have a multiplier. With it, they were able to multiply the lint from their bellies. Yes, that's right, the lint from their belly buttons, and make blankets to keep them warm in sub-zero temperatures. This is one of the blankets they made and which saved their lives. Now's the time to send in your bid on what is bound to become a celebrity relic. as will be their belly button limbs 100 years from now. In fact, it has been verified that this will be the case. So get it while you still can. Send your bid to Cosmic Agents, Relics, and Collections. We're on the Universal Internet. Look us up.
Kirk Pointer, my brother, was there. He'd recovered from the hair slug poison, the memory remaker, and being in the alternate reality divider too. He, like we all did, had all kinds of stories to tell, which we did during the mission's briefings. The mission brief was recorded and stored, locked away in Universal Mission Command's reports vaults. How someone had gotten, or how it got leaked out that we had used our belly button link to make blankets with the multiplier was being investigated. Who it was that had also impersonated us to get into Universal Mission Command was underway too. This was another mystery that needed to be solved, but we would find out somehow. Then it was back to training to get ready for the next mission. Universal Mission Command had a lot of simulations that made it seem like that we were back in the bush as we practiced hand-to-hand combat called by us Combined Combat Concepts. It was good to know, for it was better to know it and not need it than need it and not know it. This was true with every other thing that we were training in too. Whatever missions we might be called upon to do, we didn't know, but we wanted to be ready to help save other inhabited worlds from the many different global killers and the horrific, diverse types of global killer weapons they would devise. The universe would always have a need for cosmic agents, and though many missions seemed impossible, in the end, they always seemed to be worth all the troubles that we always seem to get ourselves into, especially when we could be credited for helping to save an entire world from extinction and annihilation. Praise be to our divine parents for their help too, and for the help from all the good angels and theirs and our friends in this ongoing battle to preserve life and freedom throughout the universe.
Hey,
And we
how'd you get here?
We trained for that mission today.
Yeah, we're gonna do some training.